damn, I got no kids, I got no man, I'm 27 years old, and it's like, I don't know where I'm gonna end up. Who's gonna be my man? Who's gonna be my husband? Like, where am I gonna be in 5 years from now?
Have you guys ever cried for no reason?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah.
For no damn reason.
What was going on in your life at the time that just tears just started falling? You're like, what the wrong with me right now?
You know, sometimes you cry about things like, you look at your age.
Once they look at their ages, they feel the regret, especially if their friends get engaged.
Okay, babes, you asked for it. So, a little bit about me. I am 42, turning 43. I am child-free by choice. I am single. I have never been married, no plans to marry in my immediate future. I don't own any property, and I live in a smallish 2-bedroom flat.
Glad someone talks about the side effects.
I am so depressed. I just need, no matter how you are as a man, I don't have a choice. I don't have a choice. Even if you are tall, short, albino, anyhow you are, please.
This is the problem. At first, it is high standards, and in the end of the race, it goes to no standards.
Just come to me. I have money. I have cars. At least I have about 3 cars. I have 2 houses. I'm 44 years old. 44 years old, no man. My parents, they are angry with me. They are tired of me.
Despite her having money, it isn't enough if there is no family with her.
At 44, no child, no husband, sleepless nights. You don't know how I sleep at night.
I felt like that. Now I'm alone, but I know God has me. Don't be needy, be needed.
Struggling, but with this wave of loneliness that is turning out to be like a tsunami that I feel like I'm drowning in. Usually when I get sad about being single, it lasts like a day, but it's been, I feel like, almost a week, and I am still struggling and coming to tears every time I even think about it or talk about it. And I think there are a few things that have triggered it. It also happens to be that this weekend both of my siblings are on trips with their significant other.
The thing with this loneliness is it's an unshakable feeling that gets heavier with age.
Sending videos of their Airbnbs in our group chat, and I'm receiving them while I am alone in my apartment with the use of only one hand. Then there's also the fact that one of my best friend's weddings is coming up in September, and I remember a year ago she gave me a +1 and she's like, yeah, you can bring your mom, and I'm like, oh no, I'll for sure have a significant other a year from now. I literally said that, and now that it's less than a month away, it's highly likely that I actually will still be single.
The tricky thing about dating is that with age, many factors change. And the people that think they will have the same benefits only get shocked when they realize otherwise.
And so the thought of that makes me want to crawl into a hole, and there's going to be a rehearsal dinner, and every single person there is going to have their significant other, and have friends that I can dance with on the dance floor or anything like that. So yeah, that's going to be really hard. I feel like I'm back in that hopeless pit.
On the other hand, a man will go there, have the time of his life, unbothered by the fact that it's packed with couples.
Where I'm just like, when's it going to be my turn? Why is it taking so long?
Not all who are alone are lonely. There is a difference between being lonely and being alone. I spend most of my free time alone, and I am incredibly happy about it.
Today, I'm really struggling with being single. I've just been crying. I'm not about to come on here and cry again though, because I keep on crying on TikTok, and it's really embarrassing.
A lot of people seem to be doing that lately.
But I'm just really struggling being single today. Like, I just don't want to be single. I just want to be in a relationship, and it's actually really like when I actually deep it, that I feel like I need to be in a relationship in order to be happy. Like, that is actually how I feel at the moment. Like,
desperation is never the answer.
I don't feel like I'm myself unless I'm in a relationship. I'm just like, I just want a relationship. Like, I'm like, I don't care who it is, I just want a relationship.
She said that she doesn't feel like herself unless she's in a relationship, and that's the problem. People should learn to live on their own, so when the breakup happens, they don't lose their identity.
don't have a lot of women online that I relate to because I don't have kids. I'm not married. I live in a 1-bedroom apartment. I am on such a strict budget that it's not even funny, and there are not enough women online that are posting that type of content.
Because not everyone can admit that.
It's gonna be okay, but no one really knows that. That's just what you say. I just feel like it's a little bit unfair. I'm so over waiting. Like, when is it gonna be my turn? What did I do wrong?
Unfortunately, when it's too late, there is nothing we can do.
The thing is, I don't even want to be getting married or having kids right now, but I'm just starting to get nervous. What is wrong with me? I don't know why it's so easy for some people. I just feel like I'm never gonna find the person, if I even have a person.
Because regular people have regular standards.
And I don't want to sit around swiping on dating apps and going on these first dates where you just sit down and you're like, let's see if we like each other. It just feels so forced. I don't want to be alone forever. I feel like we're playing musical chairs, and if I don't spend time on it right now, then I'm going to be the last one standing up.
And by that time, there won't be any chairs left.
When everyone sits down and everyone's going to get married and start having kids, and then I'm just going to be like the last single person, and no one is going to have time for me. Like, I didn't have a bad childhood. It wasn't like super traumatic. But then, like, if it wasn't purity culture that messed me up and made me...
She just admitted that social media did this to her.
Afraid to, like, date and take risks, then what is it? Like, I just feel like I'm always working so hard on something. I'm always working toward a goal. Like, when is it gonna be my turn to, like, fall in love? It's so consuming. And when stuff doesn't do well, it just feels like my life isn't interesting enough. God.
We can't blame life for not giving us a partner when it's our job to make the effort.
I'm gonna be a totally 110%. I think I didn't find my husband yet because all the women expectations is really having the men go into a hole. Cause who the hell is y'all to say y'all want a man that make $500,000 a year?
She is right.
They hide because of y'all unrealistic expectations. Send me somebody that got enough to make sure that I got lights on, water running, I'm smiling, and we eating. Y'all asking for the most. Y'all want a man to buy y'all a boat, I can't even say it right. Y'all want a man to buy y'all a boat, a yacht, and a crib, and pay for your kids' schooling, your desires, your kids' desires. Like, that's, see, you hear how unrealistic that this how a lot of y'all women sound. Ridiculous.
And when men see those high standards, they are left with no choice but to quit the dating game.
That's why we ain't got nobody yet, because y'all scaring them into a damn hole. Please, separate me from everybody else.
Brutal truth about being a single woman in your 30s is that it's difficult on many days because there are so many different questions about the idea and the concept of marriage looming perpetually. And it's really interesting that I find that not a lot of men in their 30s who are single.
Because when a man reaches 30, he is most likely financially, mentally, and emotionally stable.
Get asked as many questions as women. And, you know, there are so many questions about the biological clock. There are so many questions about finding the right partner. If at all, will you find the right partner? I think it can be pretty daunting. And I think that if that pressure was lifted, it would just actually happen.
It is all about taking risks. No risk, no reward.
We're operating in a society where it's mandatory to be married by a certain age, have children by a certain age. And I think that's what makes it difficult.
I think there are so many women in this sort of situation who end up single in their 30s who are amazing. And they don't seem to be meeting the right, well, you know, a guy that matches up.
Like I said, there is no such thing as the right person. It's something that keeps people looking and looking until it's too late for an idea that never exists.
I'm 30 years old. I'm single. I live at home. I just spent the last year like running around trying to figure out stuff, and I'm back at home. My job is hard. All my friends are getting married and engaged, and I'm not. Life just every day feels the same somehow, sometimes. And sometimes I'm like, what the heck am I doing?
These stories are rather sad, to be honest.
You know, when they tell you that being single at 30 is the scariest thing in the entire world, this is what it could look like for you. No kids to worry about, no husband to worry about. Just you, your dog, your tea, and the sunset. That is what you have to fear, kids. if you're single by the time you're 30.
Just take a look at her eyes and tell me if it says happiness or not. Because according to body language experts, when someone is looking down, it is a sign of sadness and emptiness.
I'm 33, turning 34 next month, and I'm just done dating. Like, excuse my language, but I'm done. Like, for a while there, I was on a kick for the younger guys because that was all that was hollering at me, because I must say, I think I look pretty good for being 33. So I was like, okay, I'm done with the young ones. Like, they're too immature. Like, I'm looking for something more serious.
Looking for something serious should be taught at a young age so that people seek it in their 20s rather than their 30s.
They're not doing it for me. Cool, whatever. I reunite with an ex that I was with when I was 22, and this was like always the one who got away from me. Mind you, he is 3 years older than me, gonna be 37 in January.
She will learn that this guy has reached his career stability and is no longer interested.
This man is emotionally unavailable. So they're too immature in their 20s, and then they're possibly still emotionally unavailable in their 30s. I understand why my mom is 60 years old and still single.
I just want to know, are there any people out there in their 30s who feel like they're just lost and confused in their life right now?
This seems to be happening quite a lot lately.
People used to tell me, just wait till you get to your 30s. It gets so much easier. I don't feel like that. I'm 33. Do I need to try and look for a husband right now?
I can't answer that, but it will be extremely difficult.
So now I'm over 30. That means, dun dun dun, I'm expired. They think that we think that. They think we are absolutely devastated by men not wanting us anymore. Now, I'm 33, so I'm just wondering when the invisibility to men starts.
It started a long time ago.
I am 30 years old and I have been single for over 12 years, so never had a real adult relationship. From time to time feeling a bit lonely, and it's like one of those real shameful and embarrassing things to admit, I feel like.
It takes a good, mature person to admit that.
When someone asks if you're lonely, it's not something you want to admit to, because you want people to believe that you're happy and you're not worried. When everyone around you is getting married, having babies, getting engaged, moving in with partners and stuff.
I admire her for admitting this, because it is rare to see someone own up to it.
It can feel a bit overwhelming around the weekend. It's that time of year where couples seem to show off a bit, maybe. I always try and keep myself busy over the weekends. I try and make plans, see my friends, see my family.
That can be a temporary solution, but let's be honest, everyone wants to have a loving family. Well, guys, that was all for today. We'll be back soon.